this is Kranz, the Honey Badger Binder of BOOKFORGE, and this is Book Box of the Week. Not only is it Book Box of the Week, it is the very first Book Box of the Week. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up a box of books. I have a extensive collection of books, probably 50 or 60 boxes sitting in storage that I haven't seen in years. Some of them are personal books, my own personal collection, things that I enjoyed as I was growing up as a younger man. I would read, and then other things are books that I picked up over the years because I wanted to start a bookstore. And when I had dreams of starting a bookstore, that's when Amazon was on the rise, and it pretty much killed all the mom and pop bookshops, now went away. So so I ended up with a bunch of books, no place to put them. There is a reemergence of the brick and mortar bookstore, so maybe there's a chance that we could open up a bookstore at some time, but I don't know how likely it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a box every week, a lot like this one. And we're going to explore, you and I, together, what is inside. Now, some of these books might just be cool. Some books might be valuable. Some might be antiquarian. A few of them may even be rare. Who knows? So I think what we're going to do is once we open this box and we take a look what's inside here, we're also going to explore different ways. There's 5 or 6 websites that I use to look up what the asking price is, what the value is for a particular book. And I'll take a look at each of these sites. I'll determine, what the range is, where my books fall as far as the condition of the book. But then I also check a 6th site to find out what they've actually sold for, what the realized value is. So each time we open a box, we will look up at least one of the books in there to find out what are they asking for it, what's its perceived value, and then what the realized value is, what is that book selling for historically. So, without further ado, let's open the box. All right, so we got some pretty cool things in here. Looks like a box of older books. And let's take a look at this one. Now, this has a really cool, I'm going to put my glasses on for this. This has a really cool suede cover, and it is the Ballad of Reading Gowl, or Goal. It's got a suede cover, and it's a soft cover. So this, I'm going to say this book was published probably in the 1830s, 1840s. Looks like at one point it sold for $10. Let's keep going through this. The Ballad of Reading Goal, Oscar Wilde, Thomas Cromwell, Company, New York. And it goes right into the book without any copyright page. So yeah, pretty cool little book. We'll have to take a look and see what that might be worth. So I'm going to sit that right out front there. And let's see what we have here. So we have Friendship by Henry Thoreau, Thoreau, Thoreau. Well, that's interesting. It's got a instead of an end paper, this is more like a metallic cloth. And again, this is a suede book. It is very brittle. Looks like at one point it may have sold for $15. And what's really cool about this, and I don't know how well you can see the texture of that paper, but this is a really thick mold-made cotton paper. And this is Essays on Friendship. Let's see, I don't read that, MCM 111. I should know what that is. I feel horrible. Oh, but look at that. That's, the case is coming off. Love these. It's big illumination style letters. So we'll have to explore that one. And we have The Law of Love. And this is by W.N. Marion Reedy. It's another soft suede. I'm going to guess early 1800s. It has this tipped in moire pattern style. Looks like it may have at one point sold for about $10. And again, oh wow, this one, not only is the paper really heavy, so it says copyright 1905, that would put around the right edition, but this is a really heavy set paper again. Now what's really cool, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's a maker's mark or a mold mark for the paper. All right, so we'll have to explore that a bit. All right, so this is a nice hardcover, Elements of Chemistry, Meads, nice little textbook. Book Exchange, 1816, Hewitt, so 5th edition. 1885, copyright 1891. Got some notes in here, or some scribbles. So yeah, a little chemistry book. And this is fun. English authors. Has a nice suede binding, and it's got a heavy paper on the cover. Now, if I remember correctly, this paper is another 1899. It's letterpress. Yeah, I love the texture. You can feel it. Section on Lord Byron. All right, so the next book in line, we gotta look at that. Green Peacock edition, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. So I picked this up at an estate sale just outside of Seattle. We got someone who put in some text, handwritten, December 25th, 1896. And I believe, there you go, 1894. Just a beautiful, beautiful copy. Yeah, so I picked this up at an estate sale for about $80, and I'm pretty sure it's close to over $800 in value right now. So that's definitely one we'll take a look at. So I've got these, I remember these, quarter bound Moroccan calf, and it's by a French poet named Guy. And actually, let's just bring out, we'll sit a few of them out here. So these lovely books are written in French, which I cannot read, and but they are quite the beautiful collection. They've got these lovely marble papers on the inside. Looks like at one time they may have sold for about $10 a piece. And Trace Me edition, I don't know. That's the 3rd edition, 1885. Yeah, so beautiful books by Guy. So if you're into French poetry, these may be available soon. If you're interested in them, direct message me. But we're going to take a look at those. All right, so I can already see what's coming up next. And I'm very excited about this. One of my favorite personal books. This is the Life and Works of Thomas Paine. So this one in particular is Volume 1, Life of Thomas Paine. And these are a lovely academic edition. Got a nice little frontispiece piece. I'm not sure. That looks like it. I don't know if it was signed. 1925. Again, a nice mold laden cotton paper. Introduction by Thomas Edison. Just a beautiful set. So this is Volume 1. And then let's see, we've got Volume 2, Common Sense, and Part of the Crisis. A little bit of, looks like someone was pulling it off the shelf that way. Never pull a book out by the top like that. All right, Volume 3 continues the crisis and has patriotic papers. And we have Volume 4, Political Pamphlets, which I'll probably use this in an upcoming demonstration now that I have it out. And we've got Volume 5, Letters and Dissertations. So as you can see, it's just a beautiful set, and it's the full 10-volume set, and this is The Rights of Man. All right, 5, 6, 7, Rights of Man, essays. And let's see, Volume 8, The Age of Reason. This was probably the first one I read. Great book. And let's see, 9, Theological Discussions. This is another fun one. Actually, I think this is the first one I read out of this set. This will definitely go on the shelf in my personal book collection. This is Volume 10, Miscellany, Poetry, and Index. Okay, so there we are. We have opened the first box, and we have lots of lovely books to take a look at. So the next part of this video is we're going to go to the computer. I'm just going to do a screenshot of my search, and we'll discuss. I'm not going to go through all 6 or 7 of the websites that I use to look books up. What I may do is for this set, we'll look at one particular website, we'll do a search, we'll get an idea of the ballpark we're going to be in, and then the next box we'll use another site, and we'll keep going down the line that way. So we're definitely going to take a look at the Thomas Paine books. We'll take a look at the Pride and Prejudice, and let's look up the Guy poetry books. And that'll give you an idea of my process when I go to assess a book for value for a client, what I go through. All right, so this is the end of this part of the video. The second part will be the valuation, both perceived and actualized for some of these books. All right, I hope you've enjoyed the unboxing as much as I have. Have a super fantastic New Year. For me, this is New Year's Eve. You'll be watching this on New Year's Day or probably later, and that's okay. This is Patrick Kranz, Honey Badger Binder, BOOKFORGE. Till next time. For the sake of time, we're only going to look at the life and works of Thomas Paine and the Green Peacock edition of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Today, we're going to use Via Libre to search for the 10-volume set of the life and works of Thomas Paine to see what the current asking prices are. I'll put the link to Via Libre in the description. I'll input the author, Thomas Paine, the title, The Life and Works of Thomas Paine, and the keywords Patriots Edition in the search fields. Depending on the particular book you are researching, you may need to try variations in the search fields to get the right book. This particular set was very popular in the early 20th century, and there were several different editions. We will need to weed through these to find our edition. As you can see, The asking price for these editions range from several hundreds to thousands of dollars. This entry matches our edition, a 10-volume Patriots edition of the Life and Works of Thomas Paine, published in 1925, with an introduction by Thomas Edison. Looking to see if there are any other matches in this search. The half-bound Moroccan leather with cloth-covered boards and the tooling on the spine are an exact match. I would say our set is in comparable, if not slightly better condition than the set pictured. The asking price is set at $800 on eBay. The listing on eBay offers more images of this particular set. Sometimes there is useful information about the listing. I feel that this is an okay entry, but it doesn't reveal any additional information that's relevant. I've backed out of the link we followed to eBay to show an eBay search for this set from the beginning. So the title goes into the search field. Again, you may have to fiddle with the words to get the right results, depending on your book. Here's the listing we found on Via Libre for $800. This is still just the asking price. This set has not sold for $800. So that begs the question, what is the realized or sold price, and just how do we sort that out? If you scroll back up to the top of the eBay page, you will find an advanced button next to the search button. There are many different parameters to choose from, and I recommend experimenting with them at some point. But the radio buttons we are concerned about today are the sold and completed items. You can click on the search button directly above those options, or scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on that search button. Now, the visible listings will include sold and completed transactions, and you can get an idea of the realized price of your search. In our case, a 10-volume set of the Life and Works of Thomas Paine. Here we have a match to our set, which sold for $275. Let's take a look to see if there are any others. It looks like there's only one sold entry for our set. So the next question is a set worth $800 or $275? The answer isn't easy. It's both and neither. The next step would be to compare my set visually using the images from the set with the asking price of $800 and those from the realized price of $275, and then determine if the eBay set sold for less than the asking price due to the condition or another factor. How does my set compare to these sets? I feel my set is as good as or slightly better condition than the asking price of $800. This information is to help guide you in setting a price. In my case, if I were to sell my set of the Life and Works of Thomas Paine, I would start my price closer to the $800 mark or slightly higher, with the understanding that I might not get that much, and a bid of $300 to $500 might be a more realistic expectation. Okay, let's do a search for the Green Peacock edition of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. This time, we will use Abe Books to search for the current asking price. I'll put a link to Abe Books in the description below. Abe Books makes the search easy. We plug in the author, title, and keywords, and voila! Remember, we're only looking at one site in this video to determine the asking price. It's a good practice to check several sites to see if the asking price is consistent, or if the one you've discovered is a wild expectation from a seller with dollar signs in their eyes. You can refine your search using the sidebar radio buttons. We are going to limit the search to hardcover and used. This will limit the noise we have to sort through to find the edition we are looking for. This copy, listed in fair condition, has an asking price of $1,200, and the next entry states good plus condition for $1,245.74. I love the specific price with 74 cents. I wonder why such specificity. And it looks like the price only goes up from there. You will need to take time to read the descriptions. Some are $18.94 and others are $18.95. Which one is yours? Mine is an $18.94 printing, I believe. You have to determine the condition from the images, if provided, and the description to find the entries that most fit your copy. Prices range from just over $1,000 to in excess of $5,000. I think this one for $1,966.96 is on the high end of a realistic asking price. Again, a very specific amount with the 96 cents. Now, let's explore the realized price on eBay. We start off with a few modern editions for several hundreds of dollars, and then we jump right into several thousands of dollars. Again, asking prices. We need sold or realized prices to help us determine the value of this Green Peacock edition. Okay, let's click the Advanced button and toggle the Sold and Completed radio buttons and see what we get. Right off, we have one sold for just over $1,000. Then there's this one for over $6,000. This must be in mint condition or something. The one below it, with a sold price of $1,500, seems to fit the asking price trend a bit more closely. All in all, if I were to sell my copy of Jane Austen's Peacock edition of Pride and Prejudice, I would put it in the $2,500 range and hope for an offer between $1,500 and $2,000. Thank you for watching the first session of BookForge's Book Box of the Week. Until next time, this has been Edward Kranz, the Honey Badger Binder of BookForge.